Right. So in this video, I am going to explain to you how you can actually get pre-sales interviews in 2025. Now, the traditional way that everyone seems to want to do is to spam resumes to every single job on earth in pre-sales and pray that they get picked for like one or two of them. And quite frankly, that strategy doesn't work anymore. So the easy way, which I'm going to teach you if you stick around to the end of this video, is actually building a system of internal advocates within your dream firms who actually can refer your resume to the hiring manager so that you get picked for interviews. Now, how do you actually do that? Well, the first step is to have a good pre sales networking call. That starts with doing things such as, having a good tell me about yourself response. A lot of people screw this up. You need to treat the job as an interview and you should be prepared and have a good script for this. Absolutely fundamental. All right, next step is you got to actually bring up good pre-sales questions. No one likes boilerplate. You should ask them questions such as like, what's their sales cycle? What do the top performers at their org do? Is there a good product market fit for the product? Asking them dumb questions is just going to lead them to have a bad opinion of you. Next step is to get some warmth and familiarity into the process. Treat them as a human being, not just as a referral bot. You should do things like ask them whether they have any hobbies, whether they enjoy doing anything outside of work. Exact like the goal is to get them to warm up to you and be interested in helping you out. And the final step is do not ask directly for an interview. Please, people hate to be used. You should ask them to warm introduce to others so that way you can create a spiral effect of internal advocates within your dream pre-sales companies. Do not directly ask for an interview, please. All right. Next step is actually getting to the pre-sales interview. So you've had these networking calls. Now what do? First step is you got to build connections with those you meet. You got to warm up the relationship further. You got to send them articles, ask them about their families. The goal is to build trust and familiarity and not, just meet them once cold and just forget about them and then later ask them for an interview. That's not how this game is played. Next step is if a pre-sales role actually opens up, you should go and ask them, hey, this role opened. Is there anyone I should speak to if I'm actually interested in this role? You should not be like, at a certain point, once you built the connection, then you can make your ask. If the role does not open up, you can ask them something like, hey, I want this particular job. Is there anyone who would be helpful in helping me get such a role? Those kind of open up those internal roles within a company that sometimes aren't always, mentioned or posted on the public job listings, particularly for smaller companies. And then finally, you got to remember the rule of goodwill. You cannot directly ask for an interview without building warmth and familiarity. That comes with time. And if you want these internal referrals, that's not how the game is played. You got to be diplomatic and strategic with your CTAs. Now, moving on, um, if you want personalized help with doing this and getting your dream pre-sales job, you should book a value call with us below. It's not a sales call. All right, we're not here to pitch you on working with us in the future. It's just a one-time offer, and we will help you come up with a pre-sales job search strategy. And we will discuss things such as like what is your pre-sales career objectives, coming up with your list of dream companies and dream pre-sales roles, and then going through the entire networking process. That's how the game is won, with networking and warm referrals, not cold resume spamming. And finally, if you do want further help beyond the call, we do offer career coaching deals for pre-sales, and the price is around $500 a month. We can discuss this in the call if that's something you're interested in. Link is in the description below, and thanks for watching the video.